There we go. All right. Number one, if you're not prepared for something you're already in, make it more important. If you're not prepared for something you're already in, you must make it more important. It is my experience, my understanding that God is good. And sometimes God gives us things and it would seem as though we think we're ready for it. We feel we're ready for it. But many times we're drowning. And here is the problem. If you don't know you're drowning, if you don't know your payments are late, if you don't know that your love payments are late, if you don't know that person, if you don't know your job, if you don't know that you're late for work, if you don't know that you're not hitting every single piece of what you need to hit, or you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's, if you're not on point, you will lose the thing that God gave you, and it will hurt. I mean, if you really be honest with yourself, I mean, totally honest with yourself, and think about all the things that you have in your life that you just kind of count as pretty much, I got this in the bag, and you don't. I would suggest to you that you take some of the time that you spend doing nothing, some of the time you spend sleep, some of the time you spend working on absolutely nothing on Instagram, on Facebook, and start working on the thing so that you can keep it. Because the money does not stay if you don't manage it properly. The relationship will not stay if you don't manage it properly. The car will not stay if you do not manage it properly. The gift will not produce if you do not manage it properly. Everything that you do, you must be consistent with. If you're not consistent with it, it will not work. But if you're consistent with it with bad form, you know what you'll do? You'll hurt yourself. So what I need you to grasp, what I need you to understand, what I need you to focus on, what I need you to think about is in every area of your life, if you have something that you are appreciative for, if you have something that has been beneficial to you, if you have something that is working for you. Now, you may not like your job as much as you may want to do your business. But if that job is taking care of you, if that job is producing for you, make sure that you are managing it well. Make sure that you are managing those children well. Make sure you are managing your parent well. What does that even look like? I appreciate you. What does that look like? Let me put this 10% away. Let me take this and put it away in savings. Now, this is not touchable. If you touch it, it's no longer savings, is it? You understand what I'm saying? So for every area of your life, you need to put more time into the things that God has given you and take some time off of the things that don't really count, that don't matter as much, that does not produce as much. Number two, you can't fool God. You just can't. And so for all the people that would like to believe that they are presenting their best self, I would suggest that you let the pride go, because we can't really fool God. You can fool people for a period of time, a year, 2 years, but after a while they're going to figure out. But God knew what you was going to do before you was going to do it. So when you say to him, oh yes, God, to you, yes to your will, yes to your way, God, yes, I'll obey, all that stuff, and then you go do the other thing, just say, God, you know what, I wasn't going to really do it. He rather your yes be yes or your no be what? He could, see, the problem is you don't have enough respect for him to just be honest with him. I'm not there yet. I want to be there. I'm going to get there, but I'm not there. That would probably take you up to a higher level. I'm not there. I'm trying to get there. I'm making mistakes. I see where I'm making these mistakes, God. instead of, it's like the people that take communion and they know they shouldn't be taking communion. They just, you've been doing all types of stuff, but you just don't want to look bad. So you be like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead. No, don't let the pride get you. Just be like, you know what, let it go and let the cup pass. Just let the cup pass. That's do you not understand why you're letting the cup pass? Why did Jesus, you understand, y'all don't see the correlation. Okay, so wait, I'm not going to take the deaf and resemble him because I'm not resembling him. You understand? I'm not taking the cup and I'm not taking the bread. I'm not taking his body. I'm not taking his blood because I have not resembled him. I don't look like him. I'll let it pass until I start to look like him. Now you say, well, I'm never going to look like him. You know when you're trying. You know when you're pushing. You know when you're giving it what you got because you're more sensitive to him. But I'm going to leave it there and keep it moving. Don't, because you're basically, it always, understand this, I'm going to put this last part of it. It always starts from the inside. So when you disregard God, you don't disregard in your actions and in your words. You first disregard him inside because you've already decided what you're going to do. And so we have to decide to fix it here before we fix it here and before we fix it here. Moving on. Okay. There are always warning signs. Warning signs to season changing. If you notice that it's gotten cold in the morning, right? Now, it's still hot, still reaches like 70, 80 later on, but you know, summer is over and you know spring is coming. I mean, fall is coming. And then you'll notice that when winter is coming, you'll see that. And then you'll notice that in the morning, then spring will come. It change. You'll feel it. You'll see the leaves that start to fall. And God warns you like that. God provides warnings like that. Now, you see that it's happening and you like this. I don't see no warnings. I don't see no warnings. It's crazy. I don't see no warnings coming. No, you really literally close your eyes to the warnings and think, oh, that must be maybe God wants that to happen. He's trying to show you to prepare. When you look at Joseph in the dreams and he told the king, they would never have been prepared. They would have never lasted, but he provided the dream. He provided someone to interpret the dream and he provided a plan. God gives you a plan, but if you're not good at understanding plans, if you're not good at planning, then you know what happens. So I need to learn. Why the Bible say commit your plans to the Lord and they will succeed? Because he expects you to have a plan. When he says, how many of you go to build and have not counted the cost? He always wants you to think here, but you always want to do and just never think. Now, I have no problem with people that just love to quickly just do something. But I suggest that you start working on preparing some things in life so you can quickly do something without then saying that my rent is due. You know, and I don't know what to do. Just put a little something away. Nobody Shakespeare put enough away. No, okay, moving on. All right, so understand that warning signs come and you have to understand how to be sensitive to the signs that are happening around you. Not just sensitive to the fact that it's happening in seasons, natural seasons, but spiritual seasons. That's why he said there's a time for everything under the sun. He's trying to show you. He says there's a time for be born, time to die, time to harvest, time to plant. He gives you all those things so that you can understand that seasons change and to prepare yourself and understand these seasons. Now, that was a lot, and that's a whole other sermon. So moving on. I got one more for you. How about this? The real you is where your actions and your words meet up. Now, I tell you this once a year, and I tell you this once a year for a reason. The real you is where your actions and your words meet up. There's people like, yeah, you know I got you, such and such, they ain't got you. There's people that are doing stuff, and it's not what they said. You have to, where you really are, who you really are, is where your words and your actions connect. It doesn't mean that you won't say some stuff, and it won't mean you won't do some stuff, but most likely, more than anything, people will show up here, and you'll do this here, and that is either your limit or your start. What do I mean by that? Okay, so if you're wondering why people don't believe it's you, is because you said something or you did something and it didn't match one or the other. So for most times, people, I like to call those people the people like the boy that cried wolf. I can't trust it. Oh, I'm gonna be different now. I can't trust it. Oh, pastor put me in. No, I'm cool. Like I don't want it. I'm not interested. You know I'm gonna be there. No, I don't. Honestly, I'm not gonna tell you. But you really want to. You understand what I'm saying? Like the person that smiles at you and be like, I'm gonna call you. They're not. They're not. Likely because you're not the one to call. You've already proven that you're not going to be the one they need. And you're trying to figure out why people don't trust you because your resume says, sorry, you suck. That's what your resume says. I'm not going to answer the phone. I'm not going to call you back. I'm not going to text you. I'm not. Or you're like, I'm going to call. I'm going to answer your phone. I'm going to text you. And then you don't. They know. They know that you build yourself up emotionally just to get what you want. And then what? Poof, you're gone. So I need you to understand that no matter what age you are, you've already built a resume. It doesn't matter if you're a Kari or if you're like whoever the oldest person is sitting here. You've built a resume. You've built a resume. Now, the only thing you can do is when I ran to I'm going to go. All right. So I ran into a situation, went to an interview, and the guy was like, that's it? And I was like, that's it. So I started to build on my resume. So my resume doesn't look like it used to look. I went a different way and built more onto what? My resume. Why? Because it wasn't enough. I didn't get the shock factor I was looking for. But that's who I am now. I'm different now. And so I've built something so that you can look at my track record and say, oh. So what I'm saying to you is when your words and your actions meet up, you've built what? A new resume. You've got to build what? You have to add on and add on and add on. And then I went here and I went to such and such university and then I went to here and I did this and I did that. That means I started having a good relationship. I started responding to phone calls. I started doing this. I started saving my money. I started doing this. Oh, he's really good at what he does. Oh, he's really great. Oh, she loves and she understands this and she understands money. You can always depend on them. And that's when you built what? A resume. And your name goes before you and people know you as this or as that. You're like, oh, I have no idea what kind of woman she is. I have no idea what kind of man. Naturally a woman, but that's about all I can give you. You're like, wow, thanks. So understand what I'm saying? That's the way it is until you learn to build a new you, until you learn to say, you know what? I said it, I'm going to do it. So I'm going to put myself in a better place, and you'll never be too old to work on who you are and what you are known about or known for. And those are the keys to life.